This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
But this is so salty. You know that they are desperate when they use ad hominem attacks, when they use, reductio absurdum style arguments, where they effectively just spiral about like little minutia things, okay, and turn it into an "I know you are, but what am I?" And this is what happened with a bunch of like communist Kamala sycophants last night on CNN. Nancy Mace was on, it's a great congresswoman from South Carolina, and she said the word Kamala Harris. Okay? What's so wrong with that? She literally said the word Kamala Harris, and it sparked this meltdown. This is what shows you that they're terrified right now. Why do you know something's infected? You press on it, it hurts, right? How do you know these people are so scared? The word Kamala Harris. I tell you what, they should watch this show. We call her Kamala. Call it Camilla. Like, whatever. It's funny. It's a nickname. Donald Trump, Kamala. Whatever. Crooked Hillary. They do the same thing with Trump. The entire thing called Trump Drumpf. Something John Oliver did in 2016, was it, ALX? Call him Drumpf. Got it? We got him this time. We changed Trump's name. They had a meltdown over calling Kamala Harris Kamala Harris. Watch.
That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are
it.
intending that I am
Your disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that
is part and parcel of a
why
tradition
can't you
of disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's
why can't you just?
offensive.
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is
You
racist.
are. You absolutely are.
The practice is
Let me get in here.
No, what's disgusting
That
is
is
your
disgusting.
disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said, I didn't know her name. He's trying to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
White women don't have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25 years
They care
ago,
for your babies
25 years ago,
respected
I
your
became
humanity.
the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I
So call her
fought my
name
way
right.
through it.
So pronounce her name
blood,
right.
sweat,
Let
and
me
tears.
actually
So pronounce her name
and
right.
Kamala Harris, if
Kamala,
I were a man,
Kamala. You said
I
it
will
We're not calling
say
you Nancy
anything that I
Nancy.
want.
It's
Come on,
Kamala.
it's
You're
Kamala.
doing this
You
on
disrespect-
purpose,
I am
That's
not.
Congresswoman.
disrespectful.
Just a second.
If
You can't expect people to
a
respect your
man put
service
on
if
a
you don't
skirt
respect
and walked
hers.
that stage 25 years ago, she
You're a
would have
white
said
woman
it. She would have
disrespecting a
taken
black
that
woman. That is
achievement away from
problematic.
women.
I agree.
We say this a lot on the program, but modern day liberalism is a brain disease, and it is regressive, not progressive. People got very upset at us because I went on a rant yesterday saying, like, we're the liberals, actually. I'm sorry, but, like, if you look at definitionally what a liberal is, a liberal, as understood up until this current modern day moment, up until the wokeness virus, right, took over, which is very, like, authoritarian and fascistic virus. Liberalism was defined as live and let live, chill, free speech, don't harm anyone else, live your own life, live in peace, own your firearms, farm, raise your own chickens, drink raw milk, peace out, own a cannon if you want. That's what, like, liberalism is classically defined as. They call it classic liberalism. This is why it sucks when the Trump campaign calls Kamala Harris a liberal. No, dumb, don't do that. Call her a communist. That's why we call her Commie Kamala. Now, I would love to go on CNN. I would love to go on CNN. Let me on CNN with that panel. Please, I beg of you. Let me on CNN with that panel. And we'll say Commie Kamala all day long and force them to defend it. But with the way the reason why we call it's not progressive, it's regressive, is because what you hear in all of that is blood libel. It's literal blood libel. It's just calling people, like saying people have or do not have the right to say things because of the amount of melanin in their skin based on where their ancestors came from 5,000 years ago and their proximity to the equator. That's literal libel, racial libel on people. It's what liberalism used to stand against. If you look at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, you'll find a plaque where MLK gave an I Have a Dream speech that generally most people would agree was a good speech. MLK says, I don't care about skin color. Judge my kids by their character. But judge my kids by their actions. Very biblical, actually. It's what Christ talks about. Judge people by their fruits. Who cares? The Good Samaritan, right? Samaritans were a very different class and group of people that were seen as lesser than. But actually, the Good Samaritan's the hero of one of the most famous stories from the Gospels. Christ saying, don't worry about any of that stuff. That's all fake. What's real is who your character is. MLK having a modern-day paraphrase of that message, and everybody agrees with it, except for race Marxists. Race Marxists who say you have to have diversity, you have to have quotas of certain people's races. You just saw it on TV there. You're not allowed to say words if your skin's a certain color. What? It's regressive. You might say, actually, saying you're not allowed to speak if your skin's a different color, that kind of reminds me of some of the worst policies or some of the most horribly racist things that have happened in eras past in human history. Yeah. But it's rearing its ugly head back today. And you just saw it with Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace isn't allowed to say certain words or do certain things because of her skin color. How is that progressive? It's regressive. It's race Marxism, which is actually what's going on in this country. So that's what you're up against. And we disavow it. We disavow it. It's pernicious. And quite frankly, it's absurd. Because just yesterday, so their big argument was Kamala is racist, saying her name's Kamala. Kamala is the correct way to pronounce her name. You know, they tried to pull this stunt with Tucker Carlson like 4 years ago. I remember this clip. I remember this. I don't know exactly who it was, but a spokesperson went on Tucker Carlson's show back when Democrats would do that and like chastised Tucker Carlson for saying her name wrong, right? They're not even calling her Kamala like we do. Kamala. Does that make you happy? Kamala. They're not calling her Kamala like we do. Joe Biden himself called her Kamala just yesterday. Watch.
And Kamala are here today to make a major announcement on their efforts to lower.
Come get your boy. Same, it's amazing here. And like Nancy Mace, let me give you a piece of advice. When somebody does this to you, don't defend, right? Don't be on defense. Be on offense. Always be on offense. Kind of we live by that on this program. Now, let me just say this. Like, Republicans would be very wise to learn this. Of course, ALX has the clip. Load that. You'll see how desperate they are, actually. This is the talking point. This is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you must always be on offense because their positions are indefensible. Here's what must be said in that situation. We love Nancy Mace. I wish she was on the program. I'd give her a free training, okay? This is why Trump's got to let me be press secretary. Trump, got to let me be press secretary, all right? It'll be so much fun. I'll last like 24 hours before they burn the place down because they're all Antifa members. You have to flip it back around on them. Use their rules against them. Alinsky tactics, rules for radicals. Use their rules against them. Oh, it's racist to say her name wrong? Oh, I apologize. Here, how about I apologize for that, and why don't you answer for why Kamala worked for a guy that says you're not black unless you vote for me? Is that racist? Joe Biden called Barack Obama a clean black man who's well-spoken. Is that racist? Joe Biden said that you can't go to a Dunkin' Donuts or a 7-Eleven without an Indian accent. Is that racist? Joe Biden called integrated schools racial jungles and was against busing. Kamala Harris worked for that guy as vice president. He's still in the White House. Do you disavow Joe Biden? That's how it's done. Say that on CNN and see what happens. Make up meltdown for these people. Don't defend yourself because it's indefensible, their position. Make them eat it. Like flip it around and shove it. That's how you do it. More Republicans come to the Benny training school here. Their positions are indefensible, okay? And when all else fails, just bring up corn pop. That's the rule of the show. When all else fails, say, hey, just a reminder that Joe Biden, in his own words, backed up by his best friend, Mouse, said that a black young man had too much pomade in his hair. This is true. Fact check all of this, please. We know we know Media Matters and everybody watches the show. So please, we beg of you, fact check this. A man named Corn Pop had too much pomade in his hair. Joe Biden calls him a offensive ethnic slur, an Esther Williams, an offensive slur, okay, that is meant to like incite him and anger him. Joe Biden misgenders him, actually, in the common vernacular. So Joe Biden misgenders Corn Pop as a lifeguard at this pool. And then Joe Biden, in preparation to fight Corn Pop, who's like a young, disadvantaged black man, goes into the shed of the pool, the utility shed, gets like rusty razor blades and chains, and prepares to fight and maybe to the death Corn Pop. To like kill him. Fact check that, Washington Post and New York Times. I beg of you. Joe Biden, it's all in Joe Biden's own words. He said it. And then like his friends at the time were like, yep, that whole story's true. So Kamala Harris worked for that guy. And Nancy Mace is sitting there having to defend whether she pronounces Kamala's name wrong? No, baby. No. You're doing it all wrong, sweetie. You sweet, sweet Christmas child. But we shall teach them. We'll teach them on this show. Okay? On our stream, we'll teach them. We bring on all these Republican members. They'll learn. They'll learn. Tucker Carlson, just to show you exactly how old this tactic is, Tucker Carlson is speaking with some human thumb who was a spokesperson for Kamala back in the day. They use this tactic against Tucker. This shows how desperate they are as they, bring this thing back up from the Frankenstein grave. Watch.
Tucker, can I just say one quick thing? Because this is something that will serve you and your fellow hosts on Fox. Her name is pronounced comma, like the punctuation mark la. Kamala. Okay? Seriously, I've heard every sort of bastardization
so
of
what?
that. That's how it is, Kamala.
Okay.
Well,
but
I think it's out of respect for somebody who's going to be on the national ticket. Pronouncing her name right is actually not, it's kind of a
So
bare
I'm
minimum.
disrespecting her by mispronouncing her name unintentionally. So it begins. You're not allowed to criticize Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris or whatever because Kamala Harris.
It's not whatever.
Okay, look, I unintentionally mispronounced her name, but I love the idea that she's immune from criticism. So let me restate my question, because on this show, nobody in power is immune from criticism. Our political leaders must be held to account. That's our job.
Come on, human thumb, Mr. Clean, come on this program. I would love to have this argument with you. I would love it. Call me. Yeah, please, call me. Whoever that guy is, whoever that dumpy dork is, whoever that guy is, call me. And we'll get on the phone. We do this actually with members of Congress. We'll get on the phone. Always be on offense. Don't accept their attacks. Don't accept the premise. Use their rules against them. Humiliate them. Imagine if Nancy Mace had gone back and said, "Well, why did Kamala Harris work for the world's biggest racist?" Is that racist? Joe Biden's dropped the N-word with hard R inside of the Senate committee hearings, time and time again. I don't think we'll even play the clips on the show. Something we would never, ever do. But like, Joe Biden said it. So what do you want from me? You know, you defend that. All right? You defend that. And once you can defend that, once I hear your explanation for that, Joe Biden saying if you don't vote for him, you're not your skin color, you're not black. Once I hear your defense of that, then we can talk about common conduct.